Describe an occasion when all your plans worked. I had laid my plans with little confidence that they would work. They were, to say the least, wild. Too much depended on luck. I was in a jam and had to do something, so I laid my plans. I just had to make it work. I had to make sure that my sister landed Walter. She had been dreaming about him and I knew it. In a moment of weakness, I had thrown a challenge to my cousin that I would successfully match-make the two. I knew that all I really had to do was make them date, nature would take care of the rest. Marie was irresistible to anyone like Walter. Now that I had made my plans, all I had to do was make them work. I began to follow Walter and did some Sherlock Holmes work. I studied all his habits, his likes, his dislikes, everything. I realized that he was a man of fixed habits. He liked to follow a routine. In a week I knew Walter as well as he knew himself. He did not smoke or drink, he played tennis, he swam like a fish and worked out in a gym. He had only one weakness, if it can be called a weakness, he loved good food. I then started to make my sister visible. Much against many of her dislikes, I coaxed her to take up tennis and swimming and even paid for her membership in the gymnasium. I had to tone her down a lot. She was a very independent type while my study of Walter showed that he was a take-care-of-the-ladies type. I began to escort my sister about to all the places that Walter frequented. Soon we became a familiar sight to Walter. One day, I nodded to him and he nodded back. Then it happened. I left her at the gym and she went into her helplessness act. She did all sorts of ridiculous stunts on those machines and since I was not there the gentleman in Walter must have been roused. Later Marie told me that he stood there and taught her how to do every exercise on the machines. But he seemed to have done it in a detached sort of way. Then it dawned on me and I asked Marie, "Did you tell him who I am?" She shook her head and I confirmed my suspicions. Next day at the gym, I walked up to him and thanked him profusely for helping my sister out the previous day. "Your sister?" he gaped. I nodded and left. Needless to say, the next few days I was absent from the scene. I let nature take her course and she did. 3 days later, I was left out of the picture completely. I heard a car horn and saw Walter's car in the driveway. Marie kissed me and bounced out of the house. I congratulated myself on a job well done and rang up my cousin to tell him about my triumph. "What are brothers for?" was all he could say.